Let's admit it, we all know someone who fits into the categories of these high school stereotypes. But have you ever thought about what your teachers were like when they were 17? Today we bring you an insight into the teenage years of some of your very own Maryville teachers.
When I was 17, I was very social. I talked a lot in classes. I talked to all different groups of students. I hung out mostly with the preps, but I was pretty much friends with everyone. I tried just to be nice to everyone. I hated to see anybody picked on or left out. So overall, I think I was pretty friendly.
My personality was, as I said, I was kind of a jock. Everything I did with my free time was involved with sports somehow. I played football and baseball in high school. That's pretty much all I did with my free time, and that and go to school.
I was a cadet at the Marine Military Academy in Harlingen, Texas. We had the original Iwo Jima monument. The one in D.C. is a copy. At least that's what he told us. It's probably not true when I think about it. But I was a clown. We had a good time. I also was had to be a leader. I was a squad leader and then a platoon leader my senior year, and we get to do all kind of great things like call cadence and do the Marine Corps bar things like that. Good times.
I was pretty busy my senior year of high school. I was in journalism and choir during the day, and then sports. I was on the dance team and I ran track.
In high school, I played quarterback in football, and then also on the baseball team. I was a pitcher and a third baseman. Outside of that, in the school I tried to get into a couple different clubs. I know I was in the yearbook committee. I'm trying to think, it seems so long ago. But a couple of our friends, we would join a couple of different clubs together to be involved in the school.
I played football, baseball, and tennis. I was also in the band, and I took a psychology course. Well, I won't say I took it. I picked up a book from the dean to take a independent study psychology course right before graduation, and I didn't do anything. So at graduation, I wasn't sure if I was actually going to graduate.
When I was 17, some TV shows that were really popular. Friends was still a pretty popular TV show, so we watched that a lot. Movies, a really popular movie, I remember my senior year, was Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. We watched that a lot. And music-wise, Dave Matthews Band was really popular, and although I like them now, I was not a big fan of them in high school because everybody liked them. But that's when Nelly was coming out, so Nelly was really popular when I was 17.
In high school, I listened to B96 or Q101 most of the time. Different movies. One movie I remember coming out around that time was Varsity Blues. That was a big movie when I was in high school that we used to watch all the time. I used to always watch the movie The Program with some of my football buddies. We'd watch that before games or something like that. TV, didn't really have much time to watch TV in high school because I was always so busy, so my TV usually just consisted of watching football or, Cubs or something like that.
Music, we were really into the Boys, Beastie, Run DMC, Houdini. Not a lot of TV. We had very limited TV time. We had one TV on the floor in our lounge. I think we watched a lot of MTV. That's pretty much it. Movies, Top Gun. That's all I can remember.
I did have a car. I was one of my only friends to have a car. It wasn't anything fancy. It was a 1993 Toyota Corolla that was like this hideous red-orange color. But my friends actually drove it a lot too. I would let my friends drive my car around because I was the only one with the car. And I didn't always feel like driving, so we were always in my car.
Well, when I was in high school, I actually ended up moving to Lowell, which I get made fun of from Coach Wells and Coach Stafford and a couple of those guys about it. So I'm sure they can guess. Like Coach Eaton always says, everybody in Lowell has a pickup truck, and so of course I ended up with an S10 pickup truck when I was that age.
I definitely did not have a car. I drove my parents' '73 Impala when I was home on break. It was a boat, I didn't drive it much. My neighbor and I borrowed his sister's car a few times. She didn't know about that, so don't mention it if you see her.
My most embarrassing moment, which now I think is hilarious, but when I think back on it, I was embarrassed at the time. I was just finishing up a routine in the halftime of a basketball game, and one of my friends had fallen, so I went over to help her up, and she had tried pulling me down with her. So I got frustrated and decided I was just going to walk away, and she stuck her leg out and she tripped me, and I fell so hard right on my knee. It like shook the entire gym floor the way I fell. Everybody just got so quiet, and then all of a sudden everybody was laughing. I tried to stand up, but my knee had swollen up like instantly, so I couldn't even stand. So the referee was like behind me blowing his whistle, and I had to like crawl off the basketball court.
Most embarrassing moment's a tough one. I guess I've probably tried to block that out. You know, I'm sure that there's been, you know, with all the time that you put in with your fellow teammates and things like that, I know that we've all had some embarrassing moments amongst each other, but probably, I guess, none of which I can talk about right now.
We're in the gym. It was PE class. I ran up and grabbed the rim with both hands, and of course that surprised me, having never been up that high before. My feet swung under the goal. I fell flat on my back, head hit the court, and then everybody just turned around and said, "Hey, stop screwing around, come over here." I'm like, I just dunked. Nobody saw it.
I had a lot of fun. All the dances that I went to were a lot of fun. I got to be on homecoming court and prom court my senior year, so that was really an honor, I guess, because your like classmates nominated you. So that was really exciting. And I think just prom in general is probably my most memorable moment, because I went with a really good friend and we just had a really good time together, and afterwards we went camping for the weekend and all that, so probably prom.
My most memorable moment would have to be, you know, any number of big Friday night games that we've had for football. You know, I know for us, when we beat Crown Point, when I was a senior in high school, it was the first time that we'd beat them in 18 years. And then that year we ended up going to the semi-state. So, I mean, I think that whole season in general was probably my most memorable moment.
We had some good times at South Padre Island. Statute of limitation hasn't lapsed, so I can't give any more details about that.
Yeah, my best friend when I was 17, her name's Jill, and we met when we were 3. We took dance classes together, and she was my best friend throughout high school, and she's still my best friend today.
I will say to this day, you know, as you move on in life, you meet new people and you make new friends where you work and things like that. But some of my closest friends are still people that were my closest friends in high school too. So I think that was pretty neat that I had a core group of friends that hung out with them that I still stay real close in touch with now.
I was very fortunate, you know, being the son of a sharecropper, to be able to go to a military school, and I lived in the building with Bernie Parmalee. He played for the Dolphins. He coached Notre Dame. He was 2 years ahead of me, but he wouldn't remember me. In fact, I was kind of Facebook stalking him, and I didn't turn out. Anyway, had good times, you know. We had, in fact, going to military school was better than being home. I got a lot more freedom, you know. Got away from my country parents and had some good times.
My name is Miss Boyle, and when I was 17, the years 2000 to 2001, I was a prep.
My name is Mr. O'Connell. When I was 17 in 1999, I guess the best word to describe me would probably have been a jock.
My name is Mr. Simon. When I was 17 in 1986-87, I was a cadet at a military school.